Before we dive into today's explosive breakdown, smash that subscribe button, hit like, and turn on all notifications. Because what you're about to hear is something the mainstream media won't analyze this deeply. Trust me, you'll want to stay until the very end. In the past 48 hours, South Africa's political temperature has spiked again. This time after the Democratic Alliance dropped what they are calling critical evidence that could threaten, delay, or completely destabilize President Cyril Ramaphosa's broader national and political strategy. Now, whether this evidence is ultimately proven, disputed, or neutralized, one thing is clear. It sent shockwaves through political circles, and the president's inner circle has not been able to ignore it. Tonight, we break down what the DA claims to have uncovered, why it has rattled Ramaphosa's camp, what this could mean for the ANC's long-term stability, and most importantly, whether this evidence could actually derail the president's future plans. Stay with me, because the deeper we go, the more intense this story becomes. According to the DA's public statements, the material they released is linked to governance decisions, financial inconsistencies, and strategic actions that they argue contradict the president's public messaging about transparency and reform. Now, we must be crystal clear. These are claims, not verified legal findings. But politically, claims alone can cause tidal waves. And that's exactly what happened. The DA timed their release with precision, dropping documents, statements, and analysis all at once. It was designed not just to raise questions, but to corner the president in the court of public opinion, forcing him to respond. And the reaction? A mixture of surprise, silence from some ANC spokespersons, and a sudden scramble for clarification meetings within the ruling party. Why? Because whether the evidence is watertight or not, the optics are brutal. To understand why this revelation is so disruptive, we need to zoom out. President Ramaphosa has been pushing a multi-layered political strategy, one built on stabilizing coalition politics, presenting himself as the responsible reform candidate, preparing for long-term ANC repositioning, reasserting control over internal party divisions, and quietly negotiating influence with power blocs across different provinces. Whether you support him or criticize him, the strategy has been calculated. But here's the danger. Any accusation of inconsistency or hidden decision-making, true or not, hits at the very foundation of his public persona. Ramaphosa's strength is rooted in the idea that he's the steady hand, the reformer, the clean-up man. So when the DA says, here is evidence that contradicts that image, even if later disputed, the political damage is already underway. And that's what has his advisors worried. Make no mistake, the DA knows exactly what they're doing. This wasn't a random release. This was a strategic offense, a high-pressure tactic aimed at weakening ANC unity, forcing Ramaphosa to respond visibly, interrupting his longer-term negotiations, gaining public momentum, and positioning themselves as the truth-tellers ahead of key political timelines. It's a gamble, but one that could pay off if the ANC does not counter effectively. And that's where the tension rises. Let's break down the possible outcomes, from mild to catastrophic. This is the business-as-usual outcome. But even here, the public narrative remains dented. This would force Ramaphosa's strategy into the spotlight, where he could lose control of the timing and narrative. This is where things get dangerous. Coalition politics is fragile. One crack, one disagreement, one demand for answers, and the entire balance shifts. Ramaphosa knows this risk better than anyone. If the evidence is used internally as a political weapon, regardless of truth, things could escalate fast. And that's why analysts are warning. This is more than a political argument. This is a pressure test for the president's entire long-term strategy. Stay with me, because the final part is where everything comes together. Across social media, opinion forums, radio call-ins, and live political spaces, South Africans are buzzing and confused. Some say the DA is exposing genuine inconsistencies. Others argue it's political theater time to embarrass the president. But here's the real issue. People don't know what to believe. And uncertainty is the worst enemy of strategic leadership. This is exactly why this release hit so hard. Whether the evidence is solid or shaky, it planted doubt. And in politics, doubt spreads faster than truth. Here's the honest answer. It depends on how he responds. If Ramaphosa addresses the allegations decisively, maintains party unity, controls the narrative, and counters the DA with verifiable clarity, then he may survive the storm. But if the ANC hesitates, if coalition partners start asking questions, if internal factions smell opportunity, then yes, this could derail not just a strategy, but an entire political framework built over years. You can feel the tension, can't you? And this story is just beginning. If you want to stay ahead of every twist and every development, make sure you subscribe right now. Turn on all notifications. Like this video. Comment below with your thoughts. Do you think Ramaphosa can weather this storm? Because trust me, the next chapter is coming, and you do not want to miss it.